You. Why are you here in my tent? Have you come to kill me while my warriors are asleep? Thought you could sneak in under the cover of moonlight to slit my throat? Well, answer me. You've come to talk. Don't you think it's a bit late for such a thing? You've slaughtered countless of my warriors. There is no room to talk. We tried that at the beginning when our queens put us against one another. You think we can talk after everything you've done? After the blood you've shed, after all those that have fallen at the end of your blade? At the beginning, before all this started, we tried to talk. Your queen refused to give us the land that we demanded. What else is there to say? Resources to reduce trading tariffs between our countries? We explained this to you at the beginning. We cannot afford to do that. Not with our land currently suffering. You know that our land has been suffering droughts for a long, long time. We are not blessed with rain like yours. Our land is not fertile. You know that we do not have enough food to feed the masses. You think that we can afford to give you our precious metals, one of our land's only natural resources, one of the only things that allows us to trade with the other nations. My queen would not allow such a thing. Without fertile land, this metal is the only thing keeping our nation from starving. No, we will continue to do battle. We will continue to fight for the land we need to pull ourselves back from the brink of catastrophe. You say we've spent enough years at each other's throats. Why talk then, when our swords can do that for us? I may not like you, but I can respect that sentiment. You're right. About that, at least. I don't want to continue this bloody feud. It was not my choice. Neither was it yours, I suspect. If it were up to me, our queens would meet again to discuss terms. It has been many, many years, many battles. We would, of course, discuss terms of your surrender. You're right. Your queen is far too stubborn, of course, to surrender. She would have her entire army eradicated before she considered such a dire action. Perhaps surrender is an impossible notion, after all. Well then, if you did not come to discuss the terms of your surrender, what did you come to discuss? Do you truly think that's a possibility? That our queens would agree to meet after so many years have passed? You think she will agree if I stop fighting? What a ridiculous notion you're spewing. What do you possibly mean by that? Well, perhaps you do have a point. We have been at the head of our armies for as long as this war has gone on. If we both refuse to fight until our queens at least meet on fair ground, yes, there is a possibility that my queen would agree, but this requires a level of trust that we do not have. How can I know that you will not prepare warriors to slaughter my queen when she comes? How can I possibly agree to this plan? What is this? How would a necklace persuade me? Do you think that you can pay for my trust? That I could be persuaded by measly gold? Ah, it's a locket. And these pictures, you say these are your siblings? What of them? Oh, I am very sorry to hear that. To lose such a precious member of your family in such a way, I cannot even imagine. I have a little sister myself. I have not been to the homeland for years to see her. This war has brought me so far from her. I have missed so many years of her youth. So that is the real reason why you wish to end this battle quickly? To be able to go back to the sibling you have left. I see, I can understand that. So you too wish to not lose any more years with your family. You have a point. This endless cycle of bloodshed has taken too much from both of us. We have lost time, family, and countless lives to this bloody war. If there is truly a chance to end this, to be with our remaining family, for everyone to be with our family, then you're right, it is worth pursuing. It is worth attempting. Very well, I will consider your proposal. If we can broker a truce, even a temporary one, perhaps it will pave the way for a possible peace. I will speak to my queen, but you must do the same. You are right about that. Our armies follow us, their leaders. We are the ones who have been on the battlefield beside them, riding into the bloodshed, keeping them steady. Do you truly think that a personal pledge would help plead our case? A public vow to cease hostilities until our leaders have had their parley? It is an unorthodox approach, but desperate times call for desperate measures. You mentioned a personal pledge. What would you offer as a sign of your commitment? What assurance can you give that this is just not another ploy? Your personal treasure, this locket, this photo of your sibling, that is a significant gesture. I sense the sincerity in your voice. Your willingness to part with something so dear speaks volumes to me. You have my attention and perhaps a sliver of my trust, enough at least to attempt this. If peace is within our grasp, then let us both be the champions of it. Let us set aside our blades and extend our hand in diplomacy for the sake of our nations and our families. Then do we have a deal? We shall both meet on the battlefield with our warriors behind us and pledge to halt the bloodshed, at least momentarily. If we, the High Commanders, both say that our queens are the ones who had this idea, then perhaps it will force their hands. Admitting that they did not agree to such a thing would be a public embarrassment, of course. A conflict of power that they truly cannot afford at this time. Yes. Yes, they will have to agree. And we will show that this is the right way. Good. Then let it be so. Go on then. Return to your camp. I assume that you will leave just as you came without causing trouble. I must admit that the fact that you managed to sneak into my tent, my personal tent, while my warriors were unaware, is quite concerning. I will speak to them of diligence even within our camp. But still, I suppose something good came of it, at least. You and I will speak on the battlefield in front of our armies. They will see that we mean to be the harbingers of a new dawn, one without the shadow of war to haunt our steps. I hope that it will be the first spark of peace, fellow warrior. Leave now. Perhaps we will meet again, not as foes, but finally as allies.